Welcome to 5 Minutes of Chanting Torah with Cantor Shelly. And I hail from, Emanuel congregation in Chicago, Illinois, but together, you could be anywhere. And I'm glad you're here. This week's Parsha, which corresponds to July the 23rd, 2022, is Parashat Pinchas. This one's got some tricky stuff in it. So I invite you to read the beginning of the Parsha, sort of feel out. Well, what do you think of that information? I'm not going to concentrate on that bit, and I hope that was a good teaser. I'm going to instead concentrate on the daughters of Tzelofchad. So, who are these daughters? Well, it's pretty darn cool, because in this pericope of Torah, we find 5 girls without any brothers who advocate for themselves. And not only do they advocate, they win. Intriguing, isn't it? Let's begin with the blessing we use to engage in the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And we're going to get started. V'tikravna b'not Tzelofchad, ben Chefer, ben Gilad, ben Makir, ben Menashe, לממשפחות מנשה ben Yosef, ואלה שמות בנותיו, מחלה, נועה, והוגלה ומילכה, ותרצה. So who are these ladies? Well, they're from the tribe of Menashe, which is the long way around. We gave sort of a list of their brethren. And they came forward. Here are their names. And some of these names don't get a lot of play in Israel. I don't know any Hoglas, for example, but that just might be me. Anyway, their names are, I'm going to look at the Hebrew here, Machla, Noah, Hogla. That one doesn't get a lot of play. Milka and Tirza. So these girls are pretty brave. Here's what happens next. V'ta'amodna lifnei Moshe. That's the guy's name. So they get up in front of Moses, and not just Moses. V'lifnei Elazar haKohen, in front of Elazar the Kohen. V'lifnei hansiim b'chol ha'edah, and for all who are assembled, right? All the people who are assembled. Petach ohel moed lemor, and the front of the tent of meeting, and here is what they say. Avinu meit bamidbar, our father died in the wilderness. But let's make a really clear distinction here. Vehu lo haya betoch ha'edah hanoadim al Adonai ba'adat Korach ki bechet al meit uvanim lo hayu lo. He was not, I repeat, not part of the faction that stood up in front of God, the faction of Korach. He died in the wilderness of his own sin. But here's the rub. He didn't leave any sons. Lama yigara shem avinu mitoch mishpato ki ein lo ben tna lanu achuzah b'toch achei avinu. Don't let our father's name be lost because he didn't have any sons. Give us, that's right, us, these girls, give us a holding among our father's brethren. V'yakrev Moshe et mishpatan lifnei Adonai. So what does Moses do? He brings this case in front of God. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. And here's where things get really cool. And God says to Moses, saying, Kein benot Tzelofchad dovrot naton titein lachem achuzat nechala betoch achei avihem v'ha'avarta et nechalat avihen lahen. The plea of Tzelofchad's daughters is just. You should give them their hereditary holding among their father's kinsmen. Transfer their father's share to them. That is revolutionary, isn't it? Ve'el b'nei Yisrael tidaber lemor, ki amut uven ein lo, v'ha'avartem et nechalato leveito. And don't just make this about them. Speak to the Israelite people and say, if a house owner dies and he doesn't leave any sons, transfer the property to his daughters. Whew. That's a lovely piece of Torah, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining us. So glad that you're here, and come back for next week's 5 Minutes of Chanting Torah with Cantor Shelly. So if you enjoyed this content and would like to connect with us, we want you to connect with us, actually. Could you just do that for us, please? I want to get to know you. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You see the button. And anytime you're in the Chicago area, come visit us, 5959 North Sheridan. Also, you can look at our bulletin, or you can see other content we post on the Emanuel Congregation website, www.emmanuelcong.org. Thanks.